What's up, guys? Otter here, as per usual, and I'm gonna go over a couple of community casts that I've received. So fun stuff. Um, the community casts have been submitted by a bunch of people, and I'm just gonna try and catch up and pull through them. So let's start with this one. We've got uh, this one is from Spiffy, who looks like he was hiding his name in this particular battle, going against Nihilistic Nurgle Lips, who I also ended up encountering on ladder not too long ago. So, coincidentally enough, it looks like Nurgle Lips is pretty active on ladder. He was a good player. We had a close game. So, Spiffy is playing Bretonia. He's bringing the Green Knight because he's trying to play test that Green Knight and get him to work. Against Skaven, maybe he's got a niche because there's Terror. We're gonna find out. So, what's up, Tanker? Tanker's just joined me in the live chat replay. So let's get to the match though. So going over the army list, we've got Fey Enchantress, we've got 3 units of Knight Errants in the back. We have on the flanks Yeoman Archers. In the way back is I'll slow down here. It's the Green Knight himself, just all off on his own. I guess coming out of the little patch of woods like the Green Knight is known to do. Then there's Rat Ogres, we've got Giselles on the Skaven roster. It's going to be interesting to see if this hill causes them line of sight issues. More Rat Ogres just for mass. There's a Warlock Engineer, probably Auric Armor. Nope, he's got Howling Warp Gale. So cool stuff there. And Mr. Skrolk with all the usual kit. And then Rattling Guns, more Rattling Guns, and Fire in the middle with Plague Monks and Chaff. And some Yeomen on the side. So I like the choice of Yeomen against Skaven. They're low cost. They're going to do enough. And yeah, let's get into it. So, did I say Fae? It's a Prophetess of Life. So a very uncommon pick. I feel like the Fae probably does everything that she does, but better. And the loadout is a little too ambitious there. 5 spells makes it seem like you don't really know what you want to accomplish with your caster. So maybe tighten up your game plan a little bit, save yourself a bit of money, and go a bit wider. That's my recommendation, anyways. So we'll see. Green Knight's still chilling. I'm imagining he's gonna come in eventually, but maybe he's gonna wait for some of the shooting to come off the field. One thing he has to be careful for is let's see. Is there magic damage on the Skaven roster? The Warfire Throwers have magic damage, so they can melt the Green Knight, although Green Knight could probably kite them. Giselles just do straight damage. But I don't know what's going to kill the Green Knight on this roster. Outside, I mean, the Rat Ogres, maybe, but yeah, maybe it's a niche pick here. Maybe he'll carry. Let's see. So early engagement's going on. We've got Plague Monk's going to charge into some Men-at-Arms. They will roast them. The Fire is also roasting these Men-at-Arms. Interestingly, the Fire is not really hurting the Vulcan Tail Slashers, even though they're both kind of like, I don't see much of a height difference, but somehow that Warfire Thrower is able to just hit them. Shield of Thorns going down is providing a little bit of physical resist, but that's not going to be very helpful against the Warfire Throwers, which does magic damage, of course. And then the weapon damage is probably wasted on the Men-at-Arms as well, because Men-at-Arms just don't do that much damage. So buffing the weapon damage by 30% probably won't do a whole lot. Battle programs are just chilling out here. They're, I guess, going to be held in reserves until they're needed. And the Rat Ogres are going to get in here and smash up some Men-at-Arms. I mean, they'll do okay. It's not really a good matchup for either of them. The Rat Ogres will take some unnecessary damage, and the Men-at-Arms don't have an anti-large bonus, so it's a bit of an awkward engagement. Green Knights come to the rescue. Balance Bar is dead even right now. We've got some nastiness going down here. It's called Earthblood. Everyone finds Earthblood real nasty. And then we've got, what else? We've got Scroll. We've got Clan Rats coming out of the ground. The frozen tundra of the north. Apparently the Clan Rats have decided to go there as well. We do have the Knights of the Realm starting to get in some charges here. They're going to be charging into the Rat Ogres and breaking them off. Not a bad choice. Getting the charge in on the Rat Ogres rather than being charged by the Rat Ogres is always what you want to do, because then if you break them, then you're free to kind of go where you want to do it. Yeomen getting in some really nice charges here onto the Warfire Thrower, so good stuff there out of Spiffy. And This unit is still shooting into the midline, but I'm expecting that it's going to be compromised soon. Over here, Rat Ogres, they're still fighting. They're fighting Battle Pilgrims over here. So again, another one of those awkward engagements. Overwatch fire from the Human Archers is going to also be providing poison, which will debuff those Rat Ogres and prevent them from killing too quickly. U-Men are mucking up the Buboes, and with the Giselles wrapped up, I guess the Green Knight felt like it was time to shine. So, interestingly, the Green Knight does have that that ability that heals him. I'm going to just pause for a second so we don't lose the action. He does have the ability that heals him in the woods, Sacred Guardian, but it's disabled if the unit is not in a forest. And I'm looking around here on this map, and I don't see anywhere like that's inbounds of play where the Green Knight can actually regen his health. So I feel like that was a wasted 150 or 200 gold out of the Green Knight. But yeah, there you go. Battle Pilgrim's getting roasted by these Warfire Throwers. So these Warfire Throwers have been picking up a ton of value. I'm expecting that they're going to get a Chevron or two, hopefully, by the end of the battle. I feel like they've done work. Green Knight has decided to dive Lord Skrull. That's an interesting choice. Lord Skrull is probably the only character with magic damage on this given roster. Maybe the Green Knight should have just gone after the Warfire Throwers or the Rat Ogres or things like that instead of going headfirst into Skrull. On the other hand, I mean the Green Knight is a duelist. Excuse me. And he does have access to heals, and he can probably pull out. So if he just times it, waits for Skrull to drop a summon, you know the summon's going to be on cooldown, and then he goes into attack Skrull, then Skrull can't really just summon a whole bunch of things around him and bog down the Green Knight. But yeah, if you look here, Wither plus the magic damage is actually doing quite a lot of damage to the Green Knight here, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Balance bar is starting to trend in favor of the Bretonnians, but I think it's mostly because of the cavalry just breaking up the Warfire Throws and the other shooting. I think it's very hard to, even as Skaven, to protect 4 or 5 units of shooting. I think usually 2 or 3 is kind of the limit. So, all right, well, good game to Spiffy. That was fun. The Green Knight, I mean, he was kind of like an afterthought in that battle, I think. I mean, he was a little bit iffy against Skrull, but Skrull has magic damage, right? So I think that's the most important thing to remember if you're using the Green Knight, is you want to go to wherever there is not magic damage, because he's ethereal, and that magic damage bypasses all of his physical resist, and he relies on it to stay alive. Okay, so we got another one. This is match number 2 with Spiffy, and he's still playtesting his Green Knight. This is a different scenario. Now he's going against Greenskins, and again, I think Greenskins is one of those matchups where maybe you can get some niche value. I mean, he is a duelist. If you can get onto leadership, then sweet. The other thing is, there is one spell that gives Greenskins magic damage, right? It's Mantle of Gork, I think it's called, or Fist of Gork, and Wurzag can bring that in his kit, and so can the Orc Shaman. But if you go with double Goblin Big Boss and Grimgore, then you don't have a magic option on your roster. So if you go up against the Green Knight, you're in deep trouble, because there's no access to magic damage on their roster. And so that's something to think about when you build an army and you're going against the faction with ethereal units. Do you have access to magic damage? If you don't, you might want to rethink your build. But it's enough harping there. We've got Knights of the Realm in the back, so very similar to what we saw in the last replay. We've got the Prophetess of Life, so maybe this is a staple of Spiffy's. It worked for him last time, so I guess we can keep rolling with it. Goblin Wolf Riders are in the vanguard position on both sides, so a lot of light cavalry are the Greenskins. That's not so uncommon. Where the Greenskins have spent their money is in the black orcs and the heavy infantry, and I often see Greenskin players try to win with their infantry. So, yeah, cool stuff there. We're going to continue to follow this. So the Green Knight has just gotten onto the Goblin Big Boss, and he's made very short work of him. This Goblin Big Boss is also overextended, been wrapped up by Knights of the Realm and a Paladin as well. So they're just going to chop that up really quick. So if you're Greenskins, you want to always protect your leadership you want to counter charge. If you lose your Goblin Big Bosses early, you're going to have a really hard time dealing with individual entities like the Green Knight, for example. Nice charge there from Spiffy with the Knights of the Realm going into the Black Orcs. They're not going to do a whole lot of damage, but you got to start somewhere. Rusty Arrows and Night Goblin Archers are shooting in here. They're breaking off a lot of the lighter Bretonnian troops. Knights of the Realm got to charge in on the Orc Biggins. They're not going to want to stay in sustained combat there, whereas this unit of Knights of the Realms is kind of trying to trade up with these this other light cavalry. I think they'll do okay there. In the back, the Wardens of Montfort are being chased by some Goblin Wolf Riders, but nothing too crazy there. And the front line pocket has been won decisively by the Greenskins. No surprise, if you bring 3 Black Orcs or whatever he brought, 2 Black Orcs against Bretonnian infantry, they are going to murder everything on the Bretonnian roster. I mean, I don't know if he was expecting to see a lot of heavy infantry on the Bretonnians, like a heavy foot squire build. Maybe on this map it's kind of small, but you probably don't need 3 units of Black Orcs to kill all of the infantry on the Bretonnian roster. I think 1 unit of Black Orcs would do the job. So anyway, we're still going here. We've got the Prophetess of Life is going to be giving some heals to her Paladin, which is absolutely a great choice there. Green Knight is going to be chopping up some Black Orcs. And Black Orcs are pretty expensive, so if they go down, I mean that's cost-effective position for the Green Knight. Now, as the Greenskins, you want to be wrapping up the Green Knight in chaff. You want to probably be putting the Goblin Wolf Riders and other things on top of the Green Knight at all times, and then just make him fight a bunch of Night Goblins for like a really long time with poison debuffs and things like that. And just kind of prevent him to getting onto high value targets. So actually the highest value target would probably be Grimgor at this point once the Goblin Big Bosses are off of the field. And I do think the Green Knight with some Psycho Charges and some support heals could do a pretty good job against Grimgor. I know Grimgor hits hard, but I mean, the Green Knight does as well, and Green Knight plus heals is a thing. The Bretonnian infantry is breaking off. Balance bar is still really even, but the Rusty Arrows and the Night Goblin Archers are being compromised by the push to the back line. So it looks like both sides have kind of traded backlines. The Bretonnians have pushed into the Greenskin backline, the Greenskins have pushed into the Bretonnian backline, and now they're going to turn and face each other again in the middle. Paladin has healed up and he's rallied, so now you've got that double duelist combo of Green Knight plus Paladin. This is an interesting fight to watch here with the Green Knight against Grimgor. Grimgor, I think he had popped his axe, his special axe earlier, and it looks like it's on cooldown right now. And now he's, now he's being attacked, I think, by both the Green Knight and the Paladin. Oh, that's a nice play there. Shield of Thorns popping the weapon damage 30%. And giving him that physical resist, again, making it really hard for Grimgor to win that matchup, especially in the 2v1. Now, I did see the Black Orc leadership wavering for a little bit there, so I think there was a bit of a decision to be made by the Bretonnian player. Do you want to just get those Black Orcs to rout, or do you want to stick the damage on Grimgor? Now, it looks like Spiffy has decided to stick the damage on Grimgor. Not a bad choice. I don't know why these Black Orcs have stopped attacking, though. That seems like a bit of a mistake there. I mean, Grimgor certainly needed his boys to be doing something there, and he's got a whole bunch of other Black Orcs over here. So I don't think maybe the Greenskin player got distracted trying to rally his archers or something like that. But you always got to watch out where your leadership is and keep a bodyguard around at all times, especially if it's on foot and kind of slow moving. So, yeah. With Grimgor down, I do think that the battle is going to go in favor of Bretonnia. And like I said, I don't think there's anything that has magic damage to kill the Green Knight. Beyond that, this is a forested map, so even if the Prophetess were to die, in theory, the Green Knight could just power heal and just do a ton of damage. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I think we're seeing the balance bar is pretty far gone, and I still have a lot of replays to get through. So, yeah. Look at the Night Goblin fanatics chucking their stuff. Over here, the Bretonnian is cleaning up the chaff, and that's it. Hey Spiffy, thanks for watching. What's up, guys? So yeah, congrats to Spiffy on that one. I like the choice of the low tier cav. There is the one unit of Grail Guardians to kind of anchor everything. But Green Knight got to where he needed to be. He did surprisingly well, I think, against the Black Orcs. I'm not sold on this Prophetess of Life choice. I still think you're better with the Fae, because if you bring the Fae, you can pop the Favor of the Fae buff, which gives like plus 44 melee attack, which is insane. And that plus 44 melee attack on a duelist like the Green Knight it means he's going to be just doing just crazy. Well, he's not going to miss. Let's put it that way. His melee attack is already pretty high, but if you pop Favor of the Fae plus Dolores Blade, oh my goodness, you better, whoever he's fighting better run away. That's all I could say. So yeah, good game, fun to watch, and we'll keep on rolling. So I got a replay here from Exo. He said to watch out for the Veil of Shadows. I can't remember if I cast this game already, so I'm gonna cast it again because I forgot. Veil of Shadows is that weird new Skaven spell that doesn't really do damage, but it disrupts unit formation, and a lot of people are unsure of how to use it. Exo swears by it, and he's a pretty good Skaven player, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. I haven't had a chance to play around with it too much, so we'll see how it goes. He said it's around the 540 mark that it goes down, so we're going to have to keep our eyes open for that. So over here we have Dwarf Warriors, more Dwarf Warriors. We've got Rain Corlers, so a little bit more scrappy, and then a Flame Cannon in the back. I guess Korra is not a bad choice against Skaven because he gives you a little bit more fighting, and if there's summons going into your back line, Corlers are going to be able to handle themselves. The other thing is, the other scenario where you might see Corlers is if you want to bring shooting against vampire accounts, and like someone's going to summon zombies on top of your shooting, and there's not much you can do about it. Well, Corlers will be able to give it back to the zombies a little bit without just being, minced meat. So Skyhammer is up in the air. This is a Jarderbalmer ROR. We've got Grombrindal, Felix, and Gotrek, the terrible trio. Over here is Plague Priest and Doomthing Menace from Exo. Poison Wind Mortars, more Poison Wind Mortars, and just Chaff. I really like this map. I think it's got some interesting like penalties to large with the water area. So this is definitely like if you bring a shooting army, this is where you want your line of sight to be going, like right across the water. Of course, if you don't bring a shooting army, you want to be pushing through the woods. So there's options, and I like that the woods are on the flank. Make sure you are taking that free chicken as enemy advances on you. That greenskin game. I don't know what free chicken means, but maybe Tanker can clarify. So Flame Cannon, that's a cool choice against Skaven. It looks like the Warp Lightning Cannons have really fallen out of the Skaven meta, and I guess that by bringing the Flame Cannon, the Dwarf player was gambling that he was not going to see the Warp Lightning Cannon, and he was right. So the limited range of the Flame Cannon should still be fairly effective against Skaven. Now, one thing I do question is pulling up your doors right into the water. Why not angle off on the side here, right? And then if Skaven wants to attack you, then make them fight in the water. You don't need to stand in the water and give yourself that penalty, right? I just wonder if it'll pop up if I like hover my mouse over it. Sometimes it does the turn. I don't know, maybe not, but I think it's a penalty to movement for sure. And yeah, maybe some melee attack penalties as well. I don't know. Flame Cannon just got, it looks like it got cut up by Deathmaster Skitch and this Death Runner squad. So some really sneaky stuff out of Exo there. I really like that play. Gotrek, Felix, and company are going to come over here and I guess not be afraid of Deathmaster Sketchy, but he'll scurry away because that's what Skaven is known to do. Eshin Sorcerer is just biding his time. And there's the Dwarfing Menace has made the play into the front line, and he's going to start interrupting things. So Plague Priest is here. He can continue to summon Chaff as it's needed. The Chariot, I think, is also where it needs to be. Since Gotrek is in the back line, the Chariot's free to play and do what he wants to do. If Gotrek pushes over there, then Snitch becomes free as well. I question the use of the Skyhammer here. I mean, I guess it can do well against these mortars if it gets his hands on them, and that's where it's going to be going. So, yeah, but will it do the damage fast enough? Oh, I like the decision to put it into melee. That's kind of cool. Get a little charge in there, but Giselles over here are right on the case, and they're going to be shooting at the gyrocopter. So very eclectic dwarf build that we're seeing here. Balance bar is starting to shift pretty heavily, and dwarves are sort of resorting to their time-tested strategy of just blobbing up. And hey, look, there's that Veil of Shadows, or whatever it's called, I forget. But from the Ashen Sorcerer, the one that disrupts unit formation, and basically just say to the dwarves, no, sir, you may not blow up here. And yeah, cool stuff. I don't know. I guess maybe it allowed the Death Runners to get free a little bit there, or for these Death Runners to get in on the back. It's nice. They hit the Corlers. The Grombrindle, they saw the Dwarves saw that like swirly black stuff, and they're like, oh my god, time to show that we're tough and we have no fear. So the Grombrindles have no fear buff got popped. Skyhammer is just about done. The Giselles are finishing it off. Dwarf Menace just pinballing on the front line, which is exactly where it should be. Just kind of going back and forth here and here and here. And Snitch is too fast for these slow-ass dwarves. So, haha, sucks to be you dwarves. In the back, the Death Runners are going to get in some fat rear charges on the Dwarf Warriors. They're going to be pretty much done here. So really, all that's left for Skaven to do is kill the Hero Blob, which is never an easy thing to do, but there's still a little bit of ammo on these Giselles. The question is, do the Giselles start shooting these heroes, or do they continue to chase after the Skyhammer and make sure that gets off the field? I don't know, decisions. But Death Runners will do very well against these guys. I mean, they will just slowly chip them down. Let's see what's on the Ashen Sorcerer's kit. Does he have anything that can buff the combat abilities of the Death Runners? He has. Let me pause here for a sec. I'm really bad at this, mousing over stuff. Oh no, that's a Plague Priest. No, I want this guy, the Ashen Sorcerer. He has. Oh my god, it's so hard to do this. Armor of Darkness, plus 60 armor, and he has the Veil of Shadows, which we saw earlier. So the armor of the Armor of Darkness could be a nice cast on the Death Runners, because Death Runners have 20 armor. So yeah, I mean, granted, the Hero Blob does have a lot of AP damage, so in this case, maybe it won't make much of a difference. But in other cases, if you get Death Runners armor, that's pretty nice. Oh yeah, so here we go, Veil of Shadows again. So you know how like so Felix, like, he's got this thing on him where he like heals other people if he's close by them. It's healing hands, right? Let's see this one. Touch me, feel me. It's called Helping Hand. I don't know what he's helping, but I'll leave that to you guys. And it will target Lord or Hero, damage resistance plus 40, affects allies in range. It's 50-meter range, so it's very short range. And then he's got, he should have a heal. This one, Blood Oath, replenishes hit points of combatants. Well, it's 30-meter range. So this is 30 meters range. If we hover over, we can see it. And then this one is the 50-meter range. I don't know why that one's not showing, but this one is. This is the Blood Oath. So Exo casts Veil of Shadows, which push them away from each other, which is, I mean, it makes them at least get surrounded by stuff and take a bit more damage. But he's still getting the proc from Felix. Oh, but this is cool. Deathmaster's Sigil. So what Exo did is he pushed him away with the Veil of Shadows, and now he's frozen him in place with the Deathmaster's Sigil. And I guess with Snitch, he's going to be blitzing over here to Felix, which is the priority target if you're going against this. So you can see the little Skaven triangle, Great Horned Rat thing going on here. And Deathmaster Sis is saying, get out of my way, I got a job to do. Grombrindle's coming in here trying to countercharge on Snitch, but Snitch gets in a pretty nice attack and then gets away. Death Runner's going to countercharge, as well as the Plague Priest, not afraid to get his hands dirty. Cool stuff, I like that. He's full HP, why not? And then, yeah, I think Snitch is going to get in another charge here. It does a huge amount of damage. All the buffs are popped on Felix, but he is kind of like iffy, I think, in the leadership department. He's going to break. I'd like to see these Death Runners get in here and just pile in, but maybe Exo's just having fun playing around with Deathmaster Stitch, knowing that the battle's pretty much won at this point, and he's got some toys to play with, so why not? But yeah, Felix is off the field now. That's some nice micro from Exo. But yeah, Death Runners, Death Runners, Death Runners, Art of War. That's probably all you need to take those guys down. And Plague Monk's in the back. Yeah, I mean, you just throw those units at him and he'll die. But anyway, uh-oh, trouble for Snitch. Trouble for Snitch. Flash bomb. Flash bomb. Grombrindle going into him. And I think Snitch is done. Ooh, he scurries away. He scurries away. So that's Skaven bonus. People forget about this too, right? So let me just freeze it again so that I can do my thing. The scurry away bonus here, plus 12% speed if you're routing. So he's up to like 60 speed. That's pretty fast. You know, like I thought he was gonna get caught there, but sneaky sneak. So yeah, I think I'll fast forward this one. I mean, we've all seen the Gotrek Felix, Grombrindle, whatever blob, many times in many flavors, and we know how that ends. So, GG to EXO. It was cool to see the Veil. I mean, I guess for pushing apart hero blobs, that can work. Gives me some ideas. It certainly created some opportunity for Snitch to get. He got in 2 nice charges on Felix, which was critical. So cool. Got another game here. It's called Screw You Chaos from Festus against a guy named Cyborg. Festus is going wide with Clan Rats. Well, actually, not that wide. Fairly elite. He's got some AP infantry, some AP shooting, and I wonder if Festus is going to be able to protect his shooting. I mean, 5 units of shooting with no mass. If this guy had 1 unit of cavalry, he could just plow through him. Turns out he doesn't have a single unit of cavalry, which is shocking. Nor does he have wolves, nor does he have a dragon ogre. So Festus, you won the lottery in this matchup. You're lucky your opponent didn't bring any of that. So have fun shooting some high-cost Chaos Warriors. I think you'll do pretty well. Maybe this is... whoa, I was wrong. Okay, so there's Chaos Warhounds in the back. And Marauder Horseman with throwing axes. So actually Festus could be in tough here. We'll see. I mean, all the infantry is pushing up, which is leaving the back line completely exposed. I'm guessing these Warhounds are going to be diving up soon. Plague Priest is going to come over here and start getting ready to pull up some summons. Warp Grinders are actually also in reserve, so they're going to be there. We do have a little bit of Pendulum action coming down, or Burning Head, sorry. Ripping right across the line. Again, that terror penalty, the leadership penalty of Burning Head of -10 is always pretty savage against the Clan Rats. Just checking my phone here. I got an SMS message. I gotta make sure that everything's okay. I dogs it, but I'll let you watch this in a second here. And yeah. So Plague Monk Sensibears are getting in here. They're dealing some damage to the Chaos Marauders and the Chaos Halberds. And we have Archaon getting in here dirty with Plague Monks, which have been summoned. And in the back, the Poisonwood Globadiers are focus firing not the Chaos Infantry, but actually the mobility. And trying to get the mobility off of the field first, which is not a bad choice. I mean, it's not the first. I mean, I guess you'd rather shoot the higher cost Chaos Infantry, like the Mirror Guard and things like that. But if you can get the mobility off of the field, then it takes a lot of pressure off of your back line, and you can start to do things like kite and shoot and all that jazz. So these Marauder Horsemasters need to be put into melee and charging into the Poisonwood Globadiers. Trading shots with them is not what they want to be doing, so this should maybe go in favor of Skaven. Deathmaster Snitch is getting in here, and what that's going to do is, you see how it's going to cause all of the cav to blob around him? That means all the shots from these Poison Wind Globadiers are going to net even more value, and then they're going to be taken off the field. So nice play there by Festus to kind of bait the skirmish cav into blobbing and not attacking his missile units. Some Clan Rats are going to get into this other unit of Horsemasters. So if you have these light cavalry, you got to be cycle charging. Just use them as glue, and then allow it to your infantry to get in there. What is this? Some Death Runners. So it looks like, maybe I didn't notice, but perhaps Festus had some Death Runners deployed in the rear, and use them to rear charge the Chaos Infantry. Not a bad play there. It looks like they got into some Halberds, which is an excellent target for them to be on. They didn't get into the Exalted Hero and the Chaos Giant, but they're going to lose that for sure, and Festus is going to want to pull that out of there ASAP. Archaon, I'm not sure what he's been up to. He's got combat stuff and the Flaming Sword. No Fireball. I think Fireball can be a good choice against Skaven. Oh, he's gonna get pinned here from Snitch. This is an interesting use of Snitch's ability. So instead of Snitch using it to go into melee, he's using it to freeze Archaon and allow his team to shoot a little bit. Archaon's getting a little bit weak in the pants there and deciding to run away instead of going in like a champ. But maybe he's afraid of the presence of Snitch, right? Right? Like he just got snared from Snitch, so he must realize that Snitch is kind of close by. So he's like, okay, I'll go after Plague Priest instead. Not a bad choice. Plague Priest is like, okay, bye. Some spears or some clan outs and just goes right through. Archaon can force path his way through there if he's trying, and I think he is, but he's wasting a lot of time. I mean, if you can net Archaon and clan rats, that's a win. Chaos Infantry being shot off by the Warplock Giselles. Triple Giselles, I guess, is still a thing. It used to be like meta. People brought 4 Giselles every single game, and they got hit with about 7 nerfs in a row, and you started to finally see it drop off, but Festus is bringing it back. They're going to shoot the Exalted Hero now. I would probably prioritize Archaon, but the Exalted Hero is pretty low. Or maybe he's shooting the Bone Giant. Looks like he's shooting the Bone Giant. The Chaos Giant. Looks like he's shooting the Chaos Giant, but I would prioritize Archaon. I can't really tell. I can't tell what they're shooting at. Yes, he is shooting the Giant. I would shoot Archaon first. Archaon's worth a lot more. It's much faster and more dangerous. The Giant you can kite and shoot at, later. Anyway, balance bar is in favor of Festus. The last unit Chaos Marauders has been broken. Well, there's one more here, but only 15 more, so they're kind of irrelevant at this stage. Probably the Poison Wind Globadiers could just fight them. Poison Wind Globadiers do have 100 armor, don't forget. So, and these Marauders, I mean, they've got a weapon strength of 24 with limited to no AP. So, like, I mean, the Marauders can snare the Globadiers, but in terms of actually killing them, they might have some troubles. Globadiers, 18, 16, yeah, pretty crap combat stats, but they are tanky. So Giant's getting smoked here. He's getting screened a little bit by the woods, but again, I would say just shoot Archaon. Get the leadership off the field. It's going to swing the balance bar, I think, a lot faster than shooting the Giant will. Plus, the Giant has a huge HP pool. I don't know. To each their own. It's working for Festus, so who am I to judge? Now fast forward a little bit here. I think we see which way the balance bar is going. There is a big, here's this one last push from Chaos. They are pushing through the woods, which is the right thing. They're going to get into some Death Runners, I guess. Yeah. Not where they want to be. Not where they want to be. Snitch is just chilling here. He doesn't have any weapon damage, but he doesn't need to engage. Skaven, usually you want to keep your leadership alive first and foremost. And Snitch is pretty stealthy. And he can succeed at that in most cases. So Giant's down. Archaon's going to be shot. And will Snitch finish him off? No, he won't. Good game to Festus. That was fun to watch. Nicely done. Good try, Cyborg. I'm sorry for pretending you didn't have any cavalry. I totally didn't see them. But yeah, fun stuff. Cyborg had a good build. Festus clearly knew what to bring against Chaos. So yeah, and the rear charge with the Death Runners was some really cool stuff. All right, what else do we have here? We have a couple games from Tanker himself, aka Gilles Le Breton. So we're gonna watch that and see how it goes. Oh, it's my buddy Kemmler. By the way, okay, so I played a whole bunch of matches against Empire with Costas, and Costas was beating my apps again and again and again. I was playing Vampire Counts. And I think it's one of the really, really hard matchups for Vampire Council. Like, Vampire Council do well against Greenskins, they'll do well against Beastmen. They'll struggle a lot against Empire. But where I had success was bringing like a heavy line of Crypt Ghouls and Kemmler on foot, and then actually Krell of all things. Krell was my answer to something like Karl Franz, because Krell's a small target. Karl Franz gets bonuses versus large and all of this jazz. Like, Krell was okay. I mean, he held the line for a little bit, did a bit of surprise damage, and it wasn't, he's not going to murder Karl Franz. Karl Franz can always pull out, but he'll be a deterrent and buy you a little bit of time. I know they nerfed it. They nerfed the summons. I think they might have corrected it with Krell. I don't know. I don't think he like instantly crumbles like he used to. It used to be like so sad. He would crumble in like 10 seconds. So we are seeing Tanker bring Krell, which is awesome. Like, if you're going to bring Kemmler, that's half the fun, right? So cool. I got to talk about stuff, though. Krokgar, super cool, fun lord. I had underrated him, and Botrix recently reminded me of how good he is. They tweaked his Hand of the Gods missile ability, so it's way stronger than it used to be. Like, it seems to have more accuracy now, and when it hits, like, he shoots about 7 projectiles, so it's like 3 Hand of the Gods, and it can net you a ton of value. Interesting choice to go with Pterodon Riders in this matchup. I don't see them being able to win the air fight against Vampire Counts. If I'm the Lizardman player, I would probably surrender the air and go instead with the Salamander Hunting Packs. Salamander Hunting Packs have fire damage, which is fantastic against Vampire Counts. You could also go heavy with Halberd Infantry. They do have a decent amount of Temple Guard here, which is certainly a good choice. Yeah, Halberds and Kroxigars probably wouldn't be very bad against the Vampire Counts. I mean, like I said, you can always troll Vampire Counts with Halberd Infantry and Large, but this is a balanced army being run kind of by both armies. Krell has been popped. He's going to go in here and just cut up some Kroxigars. Actually, Necromancer getting dirty here too. So the Necromancer, there's a lot going on here. I gotta slow down a bit. The Necromancer has an ability that heals combatants, but if I thought it had to be like out of combat or something, or maybe I'm wrong about that. Only acts on targets in area, heals allies in range. So no, he can be in there meleeing it up with people. Master of the Dead, target self. Disabled if engaged in melee. So this is the one I was thinking of. So Unholy Lodestone, that's going to act. You can go fight the Kroxigors, and the Unholy Lodestone is going to be active. But if you send your Necromancer into melee, this Master of the Dead ability, which should be just regenning, is not going to work because it's disabled if engaged in melee. So it's kind of a decision. I mean, 300 weapon strength is nothing to sniff at. Like, I mean, that helps. It helps you win the fight, and it can take down a couple of Kroxigor models, but the trade-off is you're not getting that benefit. I haven't tested that extensively, so I don't know how much of a benefit that ability does, but something to think about, I guess. If you're a Vampire Counts main, probably anyone who isn't a Vampire Counts main isn't care. It's too much detail for them. But anyway, for me, I was like these little nuances. Krell's in here. He's giving it to the Kroxigors. Honestly, I think Krell probably could have been held in reserve for something like Krokgar or for a Carnosaur, but you never know. Double Terrorgeist, that's a cool pick. I'm wondering if they're going to be able to hold their own against the Lizard Large. I mean, Vampire Counts really struggle with killing Large. Some of the best options on the roster, arguably the best options on the roster, are the Terrorgeist. So we'll see how it goes. So I just want to pause a second here. So Terrorgeist Breath has come in here. I don't know if they cast it on the Skinks or the Kroxigors. I'm going to assume it's on the Kroxigors, but I think the Death Shriek, whatever. I watched the video. I think it was by Italian Spartacus. He tested all of the breaths very extensively. This is one of those ones that's strong versus a single unit. So you probably want to use that Death Shriek breath on something like a Krokgar or the Feral Carnosaur rather than something like the Kroxigors or the Saurus. It's a bit different than like a Black Dragon, Dark Elves, or things like that. So you got to really know your breaths. Yeah, it looks like it's going down in the Kroxigors. I mean, it did damage. It's okay. If you look at the leadership, it was wavering there. If the two Terrorgeists were to dive the Kroxigors after dropping those breath attacks because of the damage over time, probably could have broke them. And I want to flag here again. You got to look like this is my recommendation, anyways. If you're playing and you have terror-causing units or units that cause a lot of damage, you got to look for units that are wavering. These units of Kroxigors are sitting on 11 leadership. There's 2 Terrorgeists right next door. So why not dive the Terrorgeists down into the Kroxigors? You don't even have to fight them. You just break them off and make them run away, and then you can come back and fly over there. So maybe there was something that Taker was like desperately trying to use these Terrorgeists for, perhaps keeping Krell alive. For instance, I mean, for that, I guess 2-on-1 they should do okay against Gar. So we'll see. Pterodon Riders, I don't know what they're shooting at. Maybe they could be peppering the Terrorgeist there. And I love this build out of Taker. It's really colorful. It's got like a whole mix of different units. I and I don't see him play Vampire Counts very often, so this is fun. I think they're one of those factions that don't get too much love. But there we go. Krell's getting in here. So the massive of the Terrorgeist are holding the large in place, and Krell is going to be there to deal some damage. If he gets in on something, we will see. He's having trouble with pushing through his own troops, actually. Well, the Fair Carnosaur is raging, so that's nice stuff there. And Kroq-Gar looks like, even with swiftness of Itzel, he's having a little bit of trouble pulling through the chaff. He's only sitting at 75 speed, so maybe the swiftness just dropped. But yeah, he's waiting. Terrorgeist is just giving him the business because Kroq-Gar did not want to fight the Terrorgeist in all of the spheres, and I guess he's like training after Kemmler. But he's getting really marked up there. So I want to highlight this. So if you are going against Kemmler, right, and you're something like a Kroq-Gar, for example, you got to remember, like, Kemmler is one of the tankiest characters in the game. He's got this the cloak. What is it? Cloak of Mist and Shadows, which means 75% of your damage is going down the tubes if that's popped. And the other thing is, like, Kroq-Gar has so much mass, Kemmler has very little mass, so Kroq-Gar is going to be bumping and smashing him all over the place, which Kemmler's going to be on his ass, and if Kemmler is on his ass, then he's not taking damage because he has to stand up to take damage in this game. That's the way the game works. I don't know why. It's just like there's like a respect thing where they don't attack things that are on the ground. But anyway, so yeah, double tier guys, cool stuff. And they're gonna go in there and protect their guys. So that actually, if you're the lizard player, like, your question is, well, if I can't attack Kemmler, who do I attack? Well, this Necromancer over here is just chilling. You would be a great target to attack, or you could just kill some infantry, cycle charge them, hang out with your Croc scores, and like get the chaff off the field. But certainly this would be your priority target. If you can get in a charge on the Terrorgeist, obviously that's a good choice too. But I mean, these Temple Guard are basically inactive, nowhere near Kroq-Gar, nowhere near, they have no ability to support him in the fight against the Terrorgeist. Kroq-Gar is going to try and get out over there, but it's a little too late. And also, the Lizards didn't bring any heals with their build, so in a grind-out fight versus the Vampire Counts, who can keep going and going and going, you might want to think about bringing a little bit of heals in your build. So Tanker is starting to pull a bit ahead here. Kroq-Gar dies, and this Fair Carnosaur routes. I think it's just a matter of cleaning up from that point on. So yeah, Kroq-Gar is done. I'm going to fast forward. I think we can see how this goes. We'll go to the kill screen because everyone likes to see that. That's always fun. If we can get there in a reasonable amount of time, we'll see. I do think it's going to be over soon, but sometimes with Vampire Counts, it takes a little while to clean stuff up because they can be slow and they don't hit super hard. But there we go. That's our losses. All right. So congrats to Tanker on that one. That was fun. I liked watching the Vampire Counts. I don't see that often. Double Terrorgeist is still a thing. It's one of the best options in the Vampire roster to deal with large. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, like if you're these guys, you don't need well, I think just you don't need the Saurus Warriors. Just more Temple Guard, Reviv Crystals. You can cut the Pterodon Riders. You're not going to win this guy against Vampire Counts, so why bother? And just grind them out. And Kroq-Gar, I mean, yeah, he's good. Kroq-Gar is good. Fair Carnosaur is good. They'll probably win against the Terrorgeist if they're not, out of position. So I don't think that was a build issue, but I do think they need some heals. If you bring Kroq-Gar, bring him some heals. He costs like 4K almost, 3K. No, I think he's like 3K. So if you're going to spend 3K on the Lord, give him heals. All right, we got a 2v2 matchup. Apparently it's fun as hell. Greenskins and Greenskins. Everall. I don't think I've played with Everall before. Tanker's playing the Greenskins. Pestilence and Ashen. Let's go. All right, we are playing on MP Peak Pass, which is a big map that tends to favor highly mobile armies, which sort of plays to Greenskins' strengths, actually. They're a pretty fast faction. The only thing they don't really have access to is flyers, so that could potentially be an issue for them. But we'll see. Tanker going with his pretty, his typical 20 unit card stack, plus summons. which you won't be able to use until a unit dies. Sometimes you want to go with 19 unit cards if you're bringing a summon build, so you always have the option to whip a summon out of your butt, because sometimes that surprise or that utility can be helpful. I don't know which one is tanker and which one's the other guy, but we'll find out. Wait, can I remember I think this one's tanker, because tanker had the double goblin big bosses, and yeah, that seems like a sneaky tanker thing to do. He also has the Night Goblin War Boss hidden in the woods, so yeah, 100% that's tanker. I know how he rolls. Night Goblin War Boss is good, by the way, with the Tormentor's Sword, but he didn't even bring that. He goes super cheap, and it's just like you can't find my potato. So yeah, a little bait and switch stuff going on. Eshin Triads trying to get into the Force Goblin Spider Riders. Tankers expertly maneuvering them, just trying to get into the Gutter Runners probably in the back line. But the Triads are actually doing a really good job screening these guys off. And in the meantime, the Goblin Spider Riders are taking a little bit of Overwatch fire from the Gunner Riders some damage. So actually maybe Skaven's getting the better side of that to start with, because the Gunner Riders are so tight. I think Tanker's lacking some infantry here that can really just push into the Eshin Triads, get them out of the way, so that the Spider Riders can get in there. So I think the Fanatics had to push, tag the Eshin Triads first. Once the Eshin Triads are tagged by the Night Goblin Fanatics, or the Goblin, any Goblins basically. Don't forget, these guys have poison, right? So they're going to debuff the speed of the Eshin Triads. That opens up opportunities for the Goblin Spider Eyes to go after the Slingers in the back. We do have an Eshin Sorcerer getting absolutely gangbanged by the two Goblin Big Bosses, who are having a fun time over there. On the other side of the field, what do we have? We've got the Arachnarok Queen just chilling out, waiting for late game. Not a bad decision. We've got some shots going into Skaven Slaves. Not the best target, but whatever. Damage. And then Goblin Rawclobber is going into some Clannad. So I guess Skaven was a little surprised to see the Greenskin Artillery. I'm not seeing any counter artillery shooting back at them, which is a bit surprising. But yeah, we've got, looks like a Vortex is going to go down here. Is that the Veil of Shadows? It is the Veil of Shadows, so it's going to go down here. Not going to do any Fatal Bones being cast. Let's tighten them up. I mean, to give the Triads a chance to kind of pull out here from the Night Goblin Fanatics. Not a bad thing. Death Runners are going to be. I mean, Death Runners versus Night Goblins. That's a win for Night Goblins, because you don't need the AP against the Night Goblins. If you get the Night Goblins onto those Death Runners, that's great. I don't know why Tanker's pulling away there. He's coming back, I think. I don't know. Squeaker got mucked up in an area where they shouldn't have been, I think. So balance bar is pretty even, but maybe starting to trend in favor of the Skaven crews. We'll see. Over here, it looks like the Arachnarok has been discovered, and now he's going to be running for his life away from a Hell Pit Abomination and Clannad. This is where Tanker might be shooting himself in the foot if he's got the 19 unit cards, because if he had, or the 20 unit cards, because if he had 19 unit cards, he just summons a spider and summons the spiders, uses them to screen and get away. But his missile does have poison damage, so that's going to reduce the speed of the Hell Pit Abomination down to 44, and the spider is going to be able to scurry away. So a little sneaky green skin stuff there. And I guess he didn't need the summon after all, fortunately for that spider, who was taking a ton of damage. We have the Night Goblin Archers just chipping down. Skaven save, nothing too exciting there. Faster Assassin lurking in the woods. Eshin Sorcerer is below half health now, so he's going to have to be careful. Tanker is securing the woods, so if you have the woods, it conceals a lot of your army, protects you from a lot of shooting, and gives you a lot of options. And having that that map control, especially given that Skaven seems to be advancing into the woods, is going to be probably favoring Tanker here. We will see how that plays out. Skaven Slave's finally getting chipped down, so let's think about this Skaven build. We've got Eshin Sorcerer, we've got Master Assassin. Do we have a Plague Priest anywhere? Or are all of these losses going to be permanent? Because if the losses are permanent, and all you have is 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 units of Skaven Slaves. Once those Skaven Slaves go down, there's no reinforcements, and all these skirmishers could get killed. Um, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to forget about this side of the field. So Ragnarok has decided to go back and sort of backline for the Goblin Rocklobber. Not a bad choice. This Goblin Rocklobber is being shot by the Poison Wind Martyrs, so it should probably fall back. We have Lord Skroak just chilling, and yeah, the Avalanche teams are doing a good job against the artillery. I think the artillery really needs to abandon that and maybe just fall back for a little bit, or I don't know. But there's a lot of like both sides are being very disciplined here and patient. But I mean, I don't know. Why not mix it up, right? Go in there, go. Tanker's being patient too, but he's kind of picking his spots, I would say. Skulkers are nearby the Night Goblins, so they can potentially snare some of this. So actually, I wanna pause for a sec because that was a really cool play. So he's got the Ixcha's Triads, right, and they've come here to fight the Goblin Big Boss. But actually, he summoned the Doppelgangers, I guess, to snare the Goblin Big Boss, which is a tactic that I hadn't seen used before. I haven't been watching a lot of channels lately, but yeah, so the snare is pretty nice. The Goblin Big Bosses don't have a lot of mass. You drop something like Looming Dread, now they're going to have a really hard time getting out of there. Like, remember, for Greenskins, leadership is very, very precious. Whenever you have a chance, just like Skaven, whenever you have a chance to damage Greenskin leadership, it really can change the tide of battle. So it looks like Valspar is going in favor of Skaven right now. So it's going to be an uphill climb for the Greenskins to try and get back into this one. But here comes the Queen Mother herself, the Ragnarok Mama, and she's going to get in here and start probably summoning some spiders and just like chasing after these skirmishers. And the question is, are these guys on skirmish mode or not? If they are on skirmish mode, maybe all of them are going to stop firing, or they're going to start shooting at spider hatchlings. If they aren't on skirmish mode, then it's going to be really taxing the micro, I think. But yeah, it looks like Tanker probably still has 20 unit cards. Oh, there we go. He must have lost a unit there, because there's going to be that first summon. It almost crumbled immediately there, but it is okay against Skaven Slingers. It probably win. Yeah, the spider's causing some problems, but maybe the spider should come over here and knock the Goblin Big Boss loose instead of fighting the Slingers. Decisions, right? Over here, it's kind of a wash in the woods. I guess the Death Runners are cutting up these Rusty Arrows. Triads are, I don't know, neither here nor there. So it's cutting and fighting. This is a really interesting match to watch over here. I'm going to take a quick look over on the other side of the battlefield here, but that's certainly a very dynamic fight over there. We've got the Plague Monks coming in here. They're going to like basically push right into the Greenskin line. So I think this side is going in favor of Skaven. Over there, with Tanker side, it's pretty even. On the other hand, maybe the frontline engagement is going to go in favor of the Greenskins. These the Hellpit Abomination is getting pretty low, actually. It looks like Grimgor is able to chunk it down. Maybe the Orc Shaman could get in there, do some extra damage. And these Crimson Killers, with Here We Go, are going ballistic on all of this infantry. And probably on the Hellpit as well. So if they can kill the Hellpit, prevent it from regenning, that's a big win. What's going to chase it off the field? I don't know. Squeak Herd, maybe they can do it if the Hellpit is low enough. So it looks like that's the end of Mr. Goblin Big Boss, who, it looks like he took him on the Spider. I usually take him on the Wolf. I like the Wolf better. It's 100 gold cheaper is a lie. And you're faster too, but some people still like that poison. Anyway, so Master Assassin looks like he finished him off. I mean, I think the Ragnarok is a fantastic target to go after the Master Assassin. And it looks like Tanker's figured that out. So, I thought that I saw the summon going down, but then he pulled it away. Why not put it on the Assassin? Maybe because the Assassin became concealment bombs. He became unspottable, so, and Tanker dropped the chase. But man, Tanker, if you see an Assassin, if you get a whiff of an Assassin that's exposed, you gotta dive that, man. You gotta pop those spider hatchlings and eat his face with that Ragnarok. That is not what the Assassin wants to be fighting. Just don't forget, you got the Terror as well with the Ragnarok, and he's, for all the Assassin goodness, he's still rocking only 75 leadership. You put a little damage to his face, he's not going to be wanting to stick around for very long. So the hatchlings, look at how valuable they are at dealing with all these skirmishers. Eshin Sorcerer is very, very low, and this is where Skaven's maybe going to start to run into some problems. They don't have that They don't have any more chaff summons, so every unit that they lose is going to be very precious. The Eshin Triads, they don't have the highest melee defense, and they don't have a whole lot of armor either, so they're vulnerable to a lot of things. And that front line might be hard pressed to stay online against this if the summons become an issue. Plague One's coming in here. They're going to get into some archers, and on the far side, Grimgor and his boy, Mr. Orc Shaman, are just hacking and chopping. Now, Arc Shaman is just watching, but man, put the Arc Shaman in combat. 310 weapon strength. It'll help. He'll help you break them faster. Why not? You don't have to be too safe with him. He's got full HP. Hellpit Abomination Escape, though, he's healing up. So those, remember those squigs and stuff? They need to be chasing that. Or the trolls. I think they need to be chasing that. Over here, some Clannad's going to get into Orc Air Boys. Orcs can scrap a little bit, but they're still going to take a lot of damage. So it's still a win for the Clannad's. Rear charge here from some Gutter Runners, mucking stuff up. Second Goblin Big Boss looks like he's been killed by the Master Assassin. So Master Assassin is getting his way onto high value targets. Balance, but it's starting to trend back in favor of the Greenskins, though, because there's very few unit models left for this Skaven army, just because they are so high tier. And archers are chipping away at them. Halberds have pretty heavy armor. They can probably take it better than most. But the Eshin Triads, they're going to take damage from that. I don't know. But I guess Kite and Fight is the way that tanker's going right now. He does have higher mass. He does have poison damage from the Arachnarok. So, and he does have his leadership intact. So actually, Greenskins, man, this one unit of Crimson Killers just murdered the hell out of everything on the Skaven roster. I don't know how or why the Poison Wing Globadiers got stuck up in that. You would think that they would be able to kite that. I didn't see anything pressuring them, but maybe I missed it. Maybe it was the squigs and other things. I was focusing a little bit more on tanker side of the field. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I'm going to have to get going soon for some dog sending stuff. But over here, we've got nice charge coming in here on the Master Assassin. This is going to be the critical moment of the game. This is what I was saying should have happened like 20 minutes ago. Let's see if I'm right here. So, but the summons it looks like they're disintegrating. They weren't there for very long. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, if the Ragnarok can kill him, oh my god, it changes the game. It really does. So the Hastings, they can even screen off the Death Runners or the Triads where the Ragnarok does her work. I don't know, yeah. So now that the Triads are there, she's certainly going to need to get out of there. And it looks like the Assassin escaped. So I guess the Assassin has been able to stay close to those Triads at all times. Arachnarok was wavering, but more summons. She just got to... If the Arachnarok uses all of the summons, then probably it will pay for itself, if nothing else. So Arachnarok could be going down. Night Goblin Warboss is getting in here, trying to take the Ashen Sorcerer. So all of that sitting pretty in the back stuff, that's done now. Night Goblin Warboss is out for some skulls. On the other side, these Skaven just crumpled. All that's left are 2 units of Plague Monks. They're going to come over here and reinforce, but the Orcs are going to come with them and bring their big Crimson Killers who should murder all of the Plague Monks and the Eshin Triads and everything. So right now it's just trying to keep the Lord alive, keep the Ragnarok alive, and wait for reinforcements to arrive. So Tanker trying to weather the storm, desperately throwing in his Night Goblin archers or getting charged. I don't know which one it was. He could not have kited the Plague Monks anyway, so why not charge? And yeah, Trolls coming in here. I wonder if the Arachnarok Queen... I don't think the Arachnarok can like snipe the Master Assassin. That'd be really cool if you could just like focus fire, but I think it's more like just like a Mortis engine almost, just spreads around randomly. Charges going in here into the rear of the Plague Monks. Terror is going to be a factor. Did a lot of damage. Wow. I mean, maybe that's the shooting too, but yeah. Ooh, Balance Bar wavering. Balance Bar's wavering. It's going back in favor of Skaven again. Eshin tries doing some work. This Arachnarok is just garnering so much attention here, but here comes Grimgor. We're going to focus in on this and see him go to work against some filthy Death Runners. Death Runners are a pretty good, answer to Grimgor, I suppose. They have AP. Oh yeah, get some. You got Pebbles coming in at the Arachnarok. This is just anarchy all over the place. What does this Orc Shaman have? Does he have Foot of Gork? Because that would be amazing right now if he had a big fat foot. Let me see. He does have Foot of Gork. Does he have Winds of Magic? Can you drop a Foot of Gork on that blob right now? Because that would be so juicy. You would erase Eshin Triads, either kill 2 units of Plague, 3 units of Plague Monks, Death Runner, or 2 units of Plague Monks and Death Runners. Oh yeah. Eshin Sorcerer dying from some Spider Hatchling, so this is really good value here. They're crumbling. They're crumbling. Did damage. Oh man, I want to see that Foot of Gork so bad. No, Grimgor, don't go down, Grimgor. You're everyone's favorite Derpy Lord, who doesn't ever do anything. Although you did win your side, so I'll give you that. Oh my gosh. Grimgor's gone. No, he's had enough. He got fully surrounded. Dude, if you dropped that Foot of Gork right there, that would have been GG. It would have literally ended the game right there. The Ragnarok is still alive though. The Terror is going to be an issue. Like, what's going to kill it? If the Eshins get ground down, what is going to kill the Ragnarok? It's not going to be the Plague Monks. Probably not going to be the Master Assassin. We'll see. I don't know. What's this in the back? Is that the Night Goblin Warboss still hanging tough? We've got Night Goblin Fanatics. And oh my gosh, this is a long match. Long match. A good one though. I'll slow it down. Balance Bar going really heavily against the Greenskins now. But Arachnarok's here. Just plowing some chaff. Night Goblin Warboss is here, so this is a 2v1 scenario. Night Goblin Warboss plus Arachnarok. Ooh, Arachnarok gets tagged by the Master Assassin, but Master Assassin has stretched himself thin here. He's going to get fully surrounded. Eshin Sorcerer, I don't know how many wins are left. We've still got the Crimson Killers, pretty healthy. Yeah, Crimson Killers can probably kill everything right now. I mean, I don't see any. What else is going to kill them? There's Death Runners, I guess. Seriously, Death Runners? I don't know, maybe. Oh, the charge. The Savage Charge from the Arachnarok. Arachnarok plus Night Goblin Warboss. This is. I told you that was how this guy was going to meet his downfall. It was going to be the Arachnarok eating his face. That's what Tanker was looking for all game. He just had to wait until the Eshin Triads had dropped. Balance Bar is really against the Greenskins though. I don't know why. I think they're doing totally fine. They got Black Arcs. They got their leadership. They got the Skaven leadership routing. They got the terror-causing monster. They have shooting. They got styles. The only thing they don't have is a good pizza. All that killing is probably making them hungry. I don't know who has the best pizza in the Empire, but I want some. Can you tell it's like dinner time here in Canada? So yes, Assassin's done. Assassin's done. Regroup here. Oh, it's because the Hell Pit's still alive. I was like, what the hell is pulling a Balance Bar? There's a Hell Pit way in the back here. With Clan Rats. So we'll see, but it's so late to the fight. Like, if you're Skaven, why are you diving that? Go pull your Triads and your Death Runners back to the Hell Pit and just sit on the Hell Pit and let the Hell Pit win the game for you. These guys are going to rout, man. You just threw away a whole unit of Death Guard and Triads for what? The Ragnarok's going to run away. He'll rally. It'll rally. She'll rally. Does it have a gender? Do spiders have titties? How do you tell? No, they don't. They're not mammals. Biology, spider. Come on. I don't know how you tell a female spider from a male spider, though. I don't know how spiders have sex. So many questions, so few answers. Anyways, Plague Monks. And I got one more boss. Smacking it up. Well, maybe Greenskins are going to lose this one. Maybe. I mean, the Hell Pit is going to be a thing. Goblin Warboss is holding in there, keeping leadership. Oh, wavering from Skaven. Skaven going to break. They are going to break. Oh, but the Warboss is dead, and it's armed losses. Wow, what a close game. Super fun. Arachnarok Queen couldn't summon when it needed to summon, I think. Took too much damage at the start. And I think it cost Tanker in the end game. Tanker, bring 19 unit cards. You don't need 20. That's my advice. Other than that, it was a really well played game. I love the battle between Tanker and Skyvoice. They were clearly two very evenly matched players, and I don't think it really shifted until sort of the late game. Man, Everall though, dude, if you drop that Foot of Gork, I don't know, I didn't see you use your Winds of Magic. I was mostly watching the fight with Tanker, but if you drop that Foot of Gork at that one moment where everyone was balled around Grimgor Ironhide, GG, it would have been over. Skyvoice, crazy value out of these Gunner Runners. That's insane. I mean, yes, Greenskins. Death Runners as well. I think everything got like really, really good value out of Skyvoice. I was super impressed with how he played there. The Master Assassin, he did die in the end, but he killed both of the big bosses, which was, that's pretty good value. The Eshin Sorcerer lived, man, for a really long time. So I was impressed by that. These Death Runners just killing everything. So Really nice build out of Sky Voice. Super fun. And what else we got here? We got one more from Tanker here versus King of Awareness, and then one from Scythian. So 2 more replays. And then we will call it quits because I will have to go. I'm just going to catch up on chat here while we're in between here. Lies, Albrecht, and you're going to use large. Vampires have difficulty countering large. Yes, that's 100% true. Okay, so what do we have here? We got Goblin Rock Lobber. Got some squeeze. So a similar build from Tanker. I think it's, yeah. Or is Tanker playing the Wood Elves? I think he's playing Greenskins. He's not really a Wood Elf. I've never seen him play Wood Elves, actually. He likes these. He likes his hordes. And he gets that in droves with Greenskins. Double Big Boss. And, oh, Grimgor. We have a Grimgor sighting. So, will Grimgor redeem himself after diving into 500 infantry and just getting chopped up after your last match? Granted, I mean, like I said, he did win that other side, so I don't know. Force Dragon, the sneaky pick from the Wood Elves. Double Force Dragon, nice stuff. I mean, if you don't bring a lot of shooting, they can cause problems, or Halberd Infantry, or I don't know, anti-large. Plus you got double tear against Greenskins. I really like that pick against Greenskins. I ran something similar recently against Greenskins with Black Dragon and Malkith. So this is kind of like a Wood Elf twist on that. But countercharge coming from the bottom, Big Boss. Really nice stuff here. Snares, Nasty Skulkers, and the crews being pulled off the lobbers. So that was a really nice bait there. A little too early, I think, for the Force Goblin to go down. Granted, he couldn't see the Goblin Big Boss probably, who was hidden in the woods, and the Skulkers as well. They're stealth, right? So really sneaky play there. The Big Boss to pin the dragon, Skulkers to come down there and like further snare the dragon. That's a really, really good play by Tanker. I'm assuming Tanker is the Greenskins. Over here we have Air Boys shooting at the dragon. So this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to lead with your dragons in a fight. You want to keep them like mid to back line. Early game, all you want to do with your dragons usually is like just drop your breaths. Secure that damage, that value, right? And then save them for late game for the terror as much as you can, and then look for isolated units. But okay, well he's doubling down on this fight on the flank here. The terror is gonna break off some squigs here. Wogs popped though. The Big Boss is still full HP, so if you're the dragons, you got to be focusing on Big Boss. Like the Big Boss is the guy who's hurting you right now, especially with Wog. Plus, he's the one who's keeping the leadership of the Skulkers in place because he's got the encourage effect. So, like, kill the leadership with Greenskins. That's always your priority if you're fighting them. It looks like they are going to start to switch targets, but he's been active for so long. I mean, with Wog and everything, 60 melee attack, poison damage. I mean, debuffing the hell out of the Forest Dragons. That's been super atrocious and costly for the Wood Elves. Over here, some Deepwood Scouts are being screened out by some infantry. They're gonna die, but they're doing their job, just soaking bullets. Summons also soaking bullets. Those are not summons actually. Those are the real deal, but it's all right. Glade Lord here, not on a flank now. Interesting choice. I guess the Glade Lord just wants to snare stuff in the back line. Over here we've got the other Goblin Big Boss going with the Wild Guys. So this is an interesting choice. So Tanker's decided to split his Goblin Big Bosses, I think in both matchups. When I run Greenskins, I often keep them together because I find that you sort of need both of them to do enough damage to be relevant. But spreading them out, it gives you the advantage of having an encourage effect on both of your flanks, which is a big deal for Greenskins. It keeps his stuff fighting a little bit more, but then obviously with your heroes you almost want to be kiting with your heroes and winning with your army. It depends on your play style, right? If you want to be like the person who goes and ganks stuff with your heroes, or if you want to be the person who has your heroes just to like counter charge and keep your units like inspired and fighting. So yeah, we got the Brock Lobber Fred Flintstone's toy is back online. And it's shooting at Skirmish Cab in the back. Not bad. Skirmish Cab probably not sure what to go at right now. So the width of the Greenskins, I think, is starting to cause some problems. Grimgor is over here with his artillery piece, and I think the Force Dragons are afraid to land after taking so much damage last time. There is a Branch Wraith. Does a Branch Wraith have... yes, it does have Earthblood, so it can heal the dragons, but Earthblood's not the best option for healing individual entities. It can work in a pinch, but yeah, what else? You can see their firing arcs. The red firing arcs are starting. They're kind of around here, so decisions have to be made what they're going to shoot. But it looks like they are shooting into some into some goblins with rank 9 goblins. They're going to stand here and just take shots for days. I think that's a misplay from the Deepwood Scouts. Sometimes when you click on stuff in the back, like I'm assuming he didn't click on the goblins, right? I'm assuming he clicked on something else, but sometimes just by staying in front with the screen, like there's some weird like attack order drop things where they don't shoot over the spear screen, they actually shoot into the spear screen. So I don't know. I don't know if it's designed to be like that so that it makes the spear screens more relevant, but I notice that happens a lot. Rusty Arrow is going to shoot in, get some free shots here at the Force Dragon. We are going to see a breath going down here, but you want to use the breath attacks on units that are stationary, and you want to use it like across the line on. And in this case, he used a breath attack on a unit that was moving, and it just completely left. He might as well have not even used it. I mean, if you got the double dragons, I mean, what are your best targets here? I think your best targets have got to be the Goblin Big Bosses, get them off the field, or Grimgor himself. But you don't want to get surrounded there either. So we'll see. So this is a nice play. They are going to charge these skids, break them off the low leadership, and they were able to land in a position that was just slightly outside of the Greenskin firing arc, so they didn't take a lot of damage there in counterplay. I mean, I don't know why Tanker is pushing here. Oh, it's because he ran out of ammo on his rock lobbers, so I guess he had no reason to sit back anymore, and he figured he can just go log on some greenskins anyways, or on some wood elves anyways. So he's pushing at them, which is I think usually what wood elves want you to do. Like they want to kite and fight. If you look at all the Deepwood Scouts and other things, ideally they would fall back and shoot. But the thing is, they've wasted all their ammo on the Goblin Spear Screens and other trash tier stuff. That now when the heavy stuff is starting to push, like Grimgor and the Trolls, there's not any ammo left in the clip to deal with them. So Gladelord's here. I don't know what she's shooting at. What the hell's over there? Am I tripping out? Wow. Okay, maybe there was one goblin over there. Gladelord's got to be shooting at Grimgor or the Trolls. And probably the Gladelord should have been in there fighting with her Force Dragons and with the Branch Wraith. The Branch Wraith has been inactive. Like, the Branch Wraith is a decent combatant. 330 weapon strength, 45 melee attack, 35 melee defense. If you have two Force Dragons plus a Gladelord plus a Branch Wraith, you have like a point of power where you can focus some stuff down. The only thing is the Branch Wraith doesn't have any sort of like blob spells. So if you had the individual entities and you had like Awakening of the Wood or some other sort of like vortex spells, then you could have created like a little pocket of power, right? Because you can go in, you duel Grimgor, you duel the Goblin Big Bosses, whatever, and then if you get swarmed like goblins or whatever, you got a pressure release because you dropped that vortex. But there's no vortex on the Branch Wraith, so Tanker's totally confident in just mobbing this. I think this is going to be all she wrote for the Force Dragon. Just chip down with artillery fire, and that's the end. So I got one more game I think left. King of Awareness was Wood Elf, and Tanker was the other one. We got Vengeance here, featuring Scythian King and Super Ultra Hyper Vocal as Skaven. So we're seeing a lot of the assassins from Skaven, Snitch. Maybe it's just because they're fun games. Maybe because it was, the DLC was still released fairly recently. This is not the most competitive Skaven army, in my opinion, because there's no caster. And man, if you're playing Skaven, like you get so much utility out of an Ashen caster or out of a Plague Priest. But stuff happens. Scythian's gonna run his quad Scourge Runner Chariot build, probably just trying to have as much fun with that as he can before it gets nerfed, which it will. I think it should get a cost increase to at least 1,100 gold. Like 900 gold is, you get more utility out of the Scourge Runner Chariot than you do out of Cold One Chariot, which can rampage, and they're way faster. So if anything, they should be the same cost, arguably more expensive than the Cold One Chariot. I think the Cold One Chariot needs a rework. It's okay. I mean, it's okay, but that's all it is. It's okay. It's not super fun to use. I think my main criticism of the Cold One Chariot is it's just not very good at being a chariot. The Cold One Chariot is better at shooting than it is at being a Cold One Chariot because it's slow, has low melee defense, and it can rampage. And in terms of shooting, the Scourge Runner Chariot just does that job better. So, I mean, especially now that you have the Scourge Runner Chariot, why would you ever bring a Cold One Chariot? You don't need the AP off the Cold One Chariot. And the ability to get in and out is more relevant because you get more charges in and take less damage. So, yeah. So, Scythian is going to dive right in here and smash some Skaven Slay Spears. Going to break pretty fast. He's going to go right after the leadership, not waste any time. The Doomflayers are going to try and muck up some stuff. I don't know, but the Cold One Knights counter-charged by Scythian. Scythian is just going to go where he wants. The Skaven player has no Rat Ogres. He has no... does he have Ashen Triads? He does. So Ashen Triads are going to come over here. He does have Masting and Doomflayers. Does have this, I mean, this assassin, if you get the assassin gets the charge down, you can maybe kill the model or something. I don't know. The Giselles are shooting though. They are murdering Malice Darkblade. So Scythian's going to want to be careful with Malice. Actually, Balance Bar is trending in favor of Skaven right now, and I think the main reason for that is because of Malice Darkblade taking so much damage. Malice is also on foot, so it's not like he can really kite or do much about that. Interesting, he's going to go in and challenge Deathmaster Seer straight away. Pops Zarkon. So, did he pop Zarkon? No, still not. Holding on to the last, most desperate moment there, burying himself in some Cold One Knights, going after the Ashen Triads, which do like pretty good damage. So, we'll see if he stays online. But meanwhile, the Chariots are plowing a lot of things. If they can get into those Giselles, shut them down, then that takes a lot of pressure off of Mr. Malice. But Malice pops the Zarkon, so this is cool, man. I haven't seen very many Malice on foot builds, so this is maybe the first game I've seen with that. So interesting twist out of Scythian with that. But the Giselles are gone, and the Rattling Guns, they're suppressing the Chariots. But I don't know if you got 4 Chariots, I don't think you can suppress all 4 of them. One of them's gonna get through. So far, it looks like they're doing a good job. Actually, I do think the spread damage is hitting them, but the speed of the Chariots, even with the speed debuff from the Rattling Guns, it's not enough. Like, these guys are turbo. 84 speed on a Chariot is really good. Only I think Norska and High Elf might have, and obviously the Tief Robbers from the Greenskins are faster than that, like the Goblin Wolf Chariots. But for the amount of damage they do with 80 speed, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. Granted, Dark Elves are known for their damage. They're known for being big spenders. But when you break 4 of them, ooh, it's pretty rough. Fenrat Spears are dying. Malice? Well, let's check in on Malice. How's he doing with his buddy Zarkon? The voices in his head. They're getting to him. If you're Skaven, I mean, why fight Malice? Why fight the Death Hag? Just kite them. He's gonna die anyways. You don't need to. Just go kill the other stuff. But I guess that's the problem that Skaven's having. There's not much other stuff that they can catch because they have no mass and their shooting is gone. So yeah. Big swords are just chilling in the back, staring off at the distance. They don't need to do anything because the Chariots are gonna solo kill everything. It looks like. So I'm gonna fast forward. We're gonna watch the circus go around and smash everything. We'll also laugh at Malice as his soul gets consumed by the Dark Gods. He's gone. Death Hag's chilling, just blobbing stuff, I guess, and making it so that the Chariots can get in the charges really easily. So yeah, vacuum cleaners, Skaven vacuum cleaners. That's what those are. If you ever wanted a vacuum cleaner, go to Nagaroth, or actually Headgrave. No, is he Headgrave? I don't know. I think he's, yeah, Headgrave. Go to Headgrave, talk to your boy Malice, and he'll hook you up. All right, I think that does it for Community Cast for now. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and if you ever want me to cast other stuff, you have a fun match you think I should get in on, drop it in the replays channel, and I'll try and get to it. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.